Hey there guys, and thank you so much for clicking on this video and chilling out with me as we talk some movie news. So in this episode of Review Flicks, we're going to be talking about the Marvel character Silk, one of the Spider-Man universe characters, and it looks like the live action Amazon show has been completely revamped and retooled from the ground up. We're going to be jumping into all of that news in this video. So if you are new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the movie and streaming news we have going on this channel. And with that down, we're going to be jumping into this article from comicflicknews.com. So, Amazon Silk Spider Society revamps for male audiences, entire writer's room overhauled. So, Amazon Silk Spider Society overhauls the writer's room and shifts focus to male audiences. Amazon's highly anticipated series, Silk Spider Society, is undergoing a significant transformation, as reports suggest a complete revamp of its creative direction and audience targeting. So it seems like this is becoming all too commonplace in Hollywood. Obviously with Marvel, they've had to go back and retool a lot of their shows as well. You know, when it comes to Daredevil and so on and so on. Blade as well, they've had to retool that from the ground up. And now it looks like Silk, the Amazon show coming from Sony, after the abysmal reception of the Madam Web movie, they've probably hit panic stations. They realized that the direction they were going in for this live action Silk show isn't going to work if they were going to try to copy that Madam Web kind of formula to any degree. And now they've wanted to go back and completely fire the creatives, the writers behind the show, and they're completely retargeting the audience to more of a male shift in focus. I'm not really sure what that means. Does that mean that there's going to be more action or more violence? Does it mean that the women are going to be portrayed more feminine, more like sexual characteristics of the women? I'm not really sure what it means when it's going to shift focus towards male audiences. That's the only thing I can really think of, like more action, more gore, more sort of, what's the word? Kind of a feminine characteristics of the, of the main character, Silk, because, obviously that would attract men to the show. It absolutely would. But yeah, that's all I can think of really when they say shift in focus to male audiences. But let's go down and keep reading and see what we can learn about what's going on with the show. So, produced by Sony Pictures Television in collaboration with Amazon MGM, the series centers around Cindy Moon, a young woman with spider powers, on a quest to find her missing family while navigating her journey to becoming the superhero Silk. Also, as well, it has to be said, it looks like they're absolutely driving the Spider-Man IP into the ground at the moment. Obviously with, Marvel, they've done all the Spider-Man. They've rebooted Spider-Man several times. We had the Amazing Spider-Man. Then we've had the Tom Holland Spider-Man. Then we've had Sony doing all their spin-offs. We've had, Madam Web. We've had Venom 1 and 2. We've had Carnage. We're getting Craven as well. We're getting Venom 3. And now it looks like we're getting a Spider-Man noir show with Nicolas Cage potentially. And now we're getting this Silk show as well. So they're really, really pounding, this SpiderVerse into the ground with these shows and these movies. And if they keep going the way of Madam Web, nobody's going to care about this IP. They're going to destroy it from the inside out. And it's an absolute shame because they could do some really, really interesting stuff with the SpiderVerse. I mean, just look at their animated movies across the SpiderVerse. Those animated movies have done amazingly well. And it's a shame that Sony can't put in the same effort with their live action movies. So, while Silk's origin is intertwined with Spider-Man's, whether the series will explore this connection or feature the web slingers remains uncertain due to complex rights issues between Sony and Marvel Studios. Yeah, so I don't think Sony can mention Spider-Man's name or anything, because obviously in the Madam Web movie, there was certain parts of the dialogue where they were just about to say Peter Parker's name, and then it cut away where they couldn't say it. I don't know what kind of rights they have behind the scenes about mentioning Peter Parker or Spider-Man, or showing kind of images or, B-roll of Spider-Man. I have no idea what the legalities are, but, it seems very, very complicated behind the scenes between Marvel and Sony. There's been a lot of drama going on about as well, how they're going to potentially take Spider-Man 4 forward. So that looks like another whole load of kind of drama coming down the pipeline. But guys, I thought what we would do as well, because Silk is quite a background character that not a lot of people know, let's quickly pop over to Heroes Wiki and have a quick read of the Silk character so we can get a better understanding of who this Silk character is and kind of a bit of her background. So let's just take a quick look over here on Heroes Wiki. So I've highlighted some of the points that I thought would be, kind of interesting for you guys. So Silk, real name Cindy Moon, a fictional character, superheroine appearing in American comic books published by Marvel, appearing as a supporting character in the Spider-Man comics, a genius with an eidetic memory. That basically means an eidetic memory is basically someone who never forgets anything, so that's pretty cool. Cindy was bitten by the same spider that bit Peter Parker, and was trained by Ezekiel Sims. That was the bad guy, I believed, who appeared in Madam Web. Ezekiel Sims was the character there in the bad Spider-Man costume. She was trapped in a bunker by Sims when Morlan came. Morlan is like a vampire-type character, and was later released by Peter 13 years later after he became the superhero Spider-Man. Cindy then became a vigilante, wanting to stop threats and find her missing family. She also a member of Champions, Order of the Web, Agents of Atlas. She was created by Dan Slott and Humberto Ramos, and first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3, Number 1, in June of 2014. So, the character is actually only 10 years old, so when it comes to comic book characters, she's relatively new. She's only been around for about 10 years, and she's a more obscure character in the Spider-Verse. That's why I thought we would just have a little bit of a read of this, because there's a lot of people out there who probably don't know the Silk character or anything about her. So, just a quick read here. 13 years ago, during a demonstration of the use of radioactive rays at a scientific exhibit, a spider accidentally exposed to radiation and absorbed large amounts of it. In its dying moments, the arachnid bit the nearest living thing, Peter Parker, who became Spider-Man. However, it was not the end, as mere moments after biting Peter Parker, the spider bites another young student by the name of Cindy Moon. Soon after, Cindy's abilities manifested, but she was unable to control them. Sometime later, Ezekiel would approach the Moon family and offer his help and guide Cindy in controlling her newfound abilities. After 6 years since getting bit and training to use her powers, Cindy is locked up inside a facility by Ezekiel to protect her and other spiders from Morlan and his family called the Inheritors. So that's a very small background as to what happened. She was bitten by the same spider that bit Peter Parker, which was kind of cool. And she gained her powers, but then she was locked up in a bunker by Ezekiel Sims to kind of save her from this kind of vampire-esque villain. And then Peter Parker rescued her from the bunker. And then she goes in a search to find her family. So that's kind of a bit of a background about the Silk character, if you guys didn't know. But let's hop back over to the article and keep reading about the show and see what else we can learn. So, landing back over here on the article, originally slated for production in November 2022, the series faced delays due to the 2023 Writers Guild of America strikes, halting progress until September of 2023. Yeah, it was a shame those strikes happened. You know, it did throw a wrench into the works of a lot of movies and TV shows, and the delays are still being felt now, the repercussions. But I completely understand it because, you know, people were fighting for better work conditions, which is completely understandable. You know, people feel that they deserve better rights in the workplace, so all the more power to them. Obviously, it's been resolved now, which is great. So, recent reports from entertainment news outlet The Ankler suggest a significant shake-up in the series development. The writers' room, excluding showrunner Angela Kang and one co-executive producer, has been disbanded despite having completed several episodes. So it's the same kind of story that we hear from, Daredevil Born Again. They almost finished like half of the episodes apparently, and they had to go back to the beginning, completely retool the show. They didn't like where it was going, and they had to bring in a whole new writing team. And it seems like the same thing has happened here. So it seems like something that's becoming very, very commonplace in Hollywood, like I already said. But, as we go on with the superhero genre, we start seeing bomb after bomb after bomb of different movies. And I think the writers and the showrunners and behind the scenes, they're panicking. They're trying to retool their shows and movies to go with what people now want. Because the comic book genre is on decline. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. People are fed up and fatigued with these kind of boring, mundane, run-of-the-mill kind of shows. And it looks like everybody is trying to course correct, and Silk is one of those shows trying to course correct. And I hope they do it for the better. I hope they can make this show work, because this character here looks pretty awesome, and I would love to see an on-screen character like this and learn a bit more, in the process. So the series is now being retooled with a focus on attracting male audiences. Similar to the successful Amazon offerings like Reacher. Reacher is massive at the moment. Jack Ryan, that's a great show, and The Terminal List. Yeah, so when they say attracting male audiences, like, obviously being a male myself, what would attract me to a show to make it more male-orientated? When you think of attracting males to a movie or a TV show, you think of, like, more action, more violence, like more attractive women, feminine women, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that attracts men to watching these kind of shows. If you've got a show with the titular character being a Spider-Woman, a female Spider-Woman, you have to make her attractive. You have to make her beautiful. You have to make guys want to watch her on screen. That's how you attract the male audience. It might not be a popular thing to say, but it's absolutely true. That's why a lot of video games, when you have female characters, they make the female characters really, really beautiful and good to look at and, you know, outstanding. You know, like Tomb Raider and stuff like that. They make her look really, really nice because that's what attracts guys to playing that game. And the same thing would happen with this TV show. If you had, you know, I just think that those 3 points are more action, you know, potentially more gore, R-rated, you know, stuff like that would attract more guys. That's what I think anyway. You guys may have a different opinion, but I think, being a guy myself, I think that's what would attract the more male audience. So, in addition to the Silk Spider Society, Amazon is also making strides with their previously announced Spider-Man Noir series, reportedly in talks with Nicolas Cage to reprise his role from Into the Spider-Verse in live action. Seeing Nicolas Cage as a Spider-Man Noir Amazon show, that would be absolutely amazing. I think people would love that. Nicolas Cage is like a national treasure, and you know, people just love the guy in pretty much anything he's in. He's charming as hell. He's a Hollywood legend. And putting him in a Spider-Man show, I think, is an absolute winner. Obviously, it could turn out to be dog shit if the script is bad, but, you know, you're setting yourself up for success having Nicolas Cage and Spider-Man, you know, in a show, and I think that's just great. So hopefully they can do something great with that. Yeah, this is what I mean. So you have, like, the Amazing Spider-Man, you have this comic book cover here. This is the kind of thing that attracts guys. I mean, looking at this you know, this female, you know, this female figure on this character. And this is what kind of draws guys in. It might be sad to say, it might sound pathetic, I don't know. But I'm not going to lie, that's what's going to attract guys to this TV show. If they release a first image or trailer of this upcoming Silk show, and it shows a character like what I'm showing here on screen right now, that would attract more guys to it. It will get shared across the internet. People will be, you know, the guys in the audience will look at it and think, oh, she's beautiful. I want to see this show. What's it all about? You know, and it will attract more attention from the male audience. And yeah. So these series are just part of Amazon's broader lineup of live-action Spider-Man spin-offs, with details on other projects being kept under wraps for now. Yeah, but they've got to make these successful, because if they don't, they're in trouble. They're already in trouble with their movie counterparts. You've got Kraven coming up soon, but now that Madam Web has absolutely bombed, it's been annihilated, it's been ripped to shreds by online review critics and just the general audience, a lot of people are going to lack faith to go and watch Kraven now. Kraven's probably going to bomb because of, you know, what's happened with Madam Web. And then is that going to have a knock-on effect to Venom 3? And then potentially a knock-on effect to the Spider-Man IP, you know, the Tom Holland Spider-Man IP going forward. That could also have an effect, very minor, but it could still have an effect at the box office. And if they continue to bomb those movies, it's going to have an effect on these TV shows as well. So as the production of Silk, Spider Society undergoes these significant changes, fans of the Spider-Man universe are left wondering about the direction the series will take. Will focusing on a male-skewing audience impact the essence of Silk character and her story arc? Are you excited about the potential appearance of the Spider-Man Noir in live action? Absolutely am. Spider-Man Noir, can't wait to see it. Also, this Silk character is kind of catching my attention. Like I say, I don't really know a whole lot about her, to be honest. I'm more of a DC Comics collector than a Marvel comic collector, and she's a bit of a kind of a C-list character to me. I don't really know anything about her. But like I say, from my perspective, to get the male audience, you need, you know, a beautiful kind of like actress to kind of be the figurehead to this show that's going to draw that male audience in. You know, beauty does attract men, and that's the way it is. I'm not going to be ashamed to say that. And yeah, they need to have a really beautiful actress who's got that kind of, you know, mystique and that kind of aura about her that kind of draws in the audience, and that people want to spend time with on screen when they see her. You know, that's what I think they need. So yeah, that's my kind of take on that, guys, to skew more towards the male audience. But what do you think of this article, guys? Are you interested in a Silk Amazon Live TV show? And when they say skewing towards male audiences, what does that make you think? If you had to try and put that into a kind of a bubble, when you hear skew towards male audience, what would you kind of put into that? What does that mean to you? I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. But guys, just comment your overall thoughts and opinions about this show as well. Let me know what you think. Can't wait to hear from your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching and chilling out with me as we talk this movie news, and I will see you soon.